Wait, can we ask the cultural question?
Yes. Who's the worst in divorce? Culturally, ethnically, racially.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, who's the most ruthless? Who like treats the?
Those are a bunch of different questions you just threw all yeah. I mean, what I'll say is, like, the Russians. Russians, there's Chekhov's plays are dark for a fucking reason. Like, the winters are long. So Russians come in sometimes a professional hit. Like, they get cold. They
really?
Get
the husband to the wife, you're saying, or the wife?
Well, no, the wife more so even. Russian women we used to call them the Red Menace sometimes in the courthouse. What would they? Because like they're. I mean, God, it's really hard to say. I mean. Like the look, sometimes stereotypes are a real time saver. Let's just call that out. Let's just call that out. And sometimes they're wildly inaccurate. I get it, but sometimes they're a real time saver.
Yeah.
And anyone who's ever dated a Latina woman, they will burn your fucking house down, and then ask who Maria was who called. And you're like, that's from work. Yeah. She's like, well, you should have told me that shit before. And you're like, before you burned the fucking house down? Like, so that can be bad. Right. Russian women, in my experience professionally, not personally, professionally, they will, when you are now the enemy, when you have crossed that line, they get fucking ice cold. And there is nothing. When you're married to a Russian woman, there's nothing she won't do for you. And when you're divorcing a Russian woman, there is nothing she won't do to you. Like, she will fuck your shit right up.
Well, give me an example of, like, you don't have to give obviously a person, but something that they might have asked you to do or told you about.
Oh, I mean, they'll surveil the guy. Like, they'll have people follow him. They'll blow him up to the IRS. I've had a couple of them blow him up to the IRS. Yeah, and they'll shoot first and ask questions later. Like, they'll call the IRS and then go, by the way, I called the IRS. Not, I'm thinking about calling, so I can go, that's a terrible fucking idea. Like, nope. They're like, oh, I did it already. And you're like, okay, then I guess let's figure out what we're going to do with that, so that's a big one. In terms of who, I mean, I will say, again, I'm being very stereotypical, Italian women, a lot of Italian women in my experience, they're the most willing to put up with infidelity. They're
okay with the gumans?
No, it's just kind of like,
what is it? Fridays for the gumans.
It's like, he ran up. Like, it's like he's making a fool of himself. Like, but it's like, don't bring him to restaurants we go to.
Right.
Don't bring your fucking whore around where people. So like if you said no, but it really is like, it's like, I don't want to. Don't ask, don't tell. Yeah. But if like somebody sees you out with the girlfriend, you're making a fool of me.
You're embarrassing me.
You're making a fool of me now. Yeah. Like you're running around with some girl, you're making a fool of yourself, and you go ahead and make a fucking fool of yourself. But you run around with some girl and our friends see you, you're making a fool of me. That's a different vibe.
Why do you think that is culturally?
I don't know. I'm not Italian, so I'm German. We're all about the Blitzkrieg. But I don't. I don't know. I mean, I think it's all cultural. I think it's the way people, like what you said. You observe your parents' marriage. You observe the
that
marriage
becomes
of people
normalized
in your family, and you just sort of go, okay, this is how marriage is.
Got it.
So there are a lot culturally. The idea of a gourmand, like the idea of like men are fucking idiots. They run around, whatever. Who does he come home to? Who does he take care of? Who does he love? Who does he have kids with? That's what matters.
Maybe it's like certain cultures place more value on different things. So if he's like a dedicated husband, he's a provider, a protector, there's a lot of emphasis on those things. And if he's killing you in those three things, and then he does this little shit on the side,
dumb shit.
Whereas there might be other cultures, I think American culture puts like a lot of emphasis on fidelity.
Tremendous.
Maybe more so than European cultures.
Yeah, America has. I mean, the French, like, I think find like infidelity charming. Yeah. Like, it's sort of like, well,
listen, I've been taking my wife to Paris for years, bro. Not rubbing
off. Well, don't leave her alone. But it is. There's sort of like a sense of, it's where existentialism came from. They invented, existentialism, democracy, and the menage a trois.
We like indulgences.
Pretty good things. Like they came up with a lot. And one of the things they look at it like, people have because there's a difference between an affair and a dalliance. Like a dalliance is, like you said earlier, like, you do some dumb shit, you hook up with this person, it doesn't really mean anything to you. You told him you're a race car driver named Steve. Like, who the fuck cares? I'm not making that personal. I was a race car driver. No. Yeah. And so the truth is, like, I think there's a difference between that and an ongoing affair.
Right.
You know, like I found my soulmate and it's this other person. That's a whole different level of stupid.
I didn't understand the difference until like getting married. Now I'm like, oh, I see. That's a whole different fucking thing.
It's a whole different
thing.
Well, and that's where I like people put in prenups sometimes. People put in infidelity clauses sometimes
in the prenups. Interesting.
And I discourage people from doing that because in order to make something legally enforceable, you have to define it. And so how do you define infidelity? Because if you define infidelity as like genital contact, that's one thing. But like, which would be more upsetting? Like that your ex got drunk and kissed some dude, or that she was texting this guy every single day and confiding her most personal secrets in with him? And like that, to me, that's much more of a betrayal.
It depends on how much less work I have to do, honestly. If she's not really annoying me, then
like you're like delegating that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly the word I use. Yeah, 1000%. Yeah,
that's better. But again, personal decisions, right? Yeah. Like this is a personal choice. Everybody's going to have a different definition of what it is that's offensive. A conversation worth having. What is cheating to you? You know, what constitutes cheating? This is going to become a more and more relevant question.
What's the weirdest thing that you've constituted as cheating in a prenup?
I discourage those clauses, so usually I don't put them in there, and I talk people out of them because I'm good at persuading people. But the weirdest infidelity clause I ever put in is that they wanted to very strictly define what constituted infidelity. So like oral genital contact and genital to genital contact. And then there was a whole
oral to genital.
No, I mean, what was great?
Somebody's got to do it. You know what I mean? What's going on?
What I thought was so funny is they wanted to talk about digital to genital contact, meaning digital.
Yeah.
And I mean, first of all, I thought it was kind of
quaint. Grow up.
Because I was like hand jobs? Like that's a thing?
Yeah.
Like I thought it was like a Betamax. It's like outdated technology. Like how do you give a hand job? Like you be a fucking grown up, use your mouth. Like that's insane. Hand job.
You know what that is? That woman is smart because that's the massage polish.
Yeah.
She's finding a way around it.
That girl is
on. Anal is open still though.
Yeah, it seems like
theoretically open. Yeah. Well, actually, there'd be an anal loophole.
Yeah.
You know, it did not say like anal to genital contact.
As an attorney, that's what we do.
Shit, I looked at Mark's head went there first. Mark found a loophole. You're always like that. Yeah, you're hired. You're hired. This comedy thing doesn't work out. You're hired.